All right. So this is my first day doing RPG a day as Master of the Game. Um, so in case you're new to the channel, welcome. This used to be Tabletop Gaming with Juice. We have rebranded as Master of the Game. If you came over from the Master of the Game channel, welcome. You're going to see a mix of things. We're still going to do the things we did over there. And we're still going to do some of the stuff we did on Tabletop Gaming with Juice. Now, I've been running around. I'm a little bit behind, but I wanted to get this RPG a day, day 13 up. I'm also going to do the same thing for day 14 tomorrow, where I do more like a live view of it. And I do have the chat up, so if you want to post a question or something, you're more than welcome to. So, this is hashtag RPG a day. This is question 13. It's more of a statement, but describe how your play has evolved. So when I got into tabletop RPGs, I've talked about this. It was Palladium books, and it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Heroes Unlimited. Those were the games that got me into this. And at the time, I don't think I knew what I was getting into. It felt more like a choose your own adventure than role playing to me. In fact, I didn't grasp the role-playing aspect for a while. So when I started playing, it was about making this powerful, fun character that could save the world or these types of things. Now, as I grew, it was harder to find groups. My friends that played D&D in high school had a full group. I think they had like 8 players. They didn't want any more. And after high school, I gave it up. And I've told these stories a lot. So if you've seen this before, feel free to move on. But it wasn't until I met my wife that I got back into it. That was about 2010. I tried, we tried 2nd edition D&D. That was my first time ever playing Dungeons and Dragons. So again, I got into this hobby in 97, and it wasn't until 2010, 13 years later, that I tried a Dungeons and Dragons tabletop RPG. And when we did that, I made a fighter, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I still thought it was about making the most powerful character. I viewed it more as a game than role-playing at that time. And so I wanted the cool magic items. I wanted the high stats. I ran Heroes Unlimited in 2010 for my family, my sister, brother-in-law, and my wife. That wasn't very successful. It was really bad. I just would put obstacles in front of them and let them knock them down, basically. Because again, I thought it was about winning the game. Not really, but that's sort of how I ran games then. Give them an obstacle, let them defeat it. 2012 is when I decided to start my YouTube channel. I had gallbladder surgery in 2011, I think. Started watching some channels, Dom Forged Cast, Samwise 7 RPG, Tim Harper, Wood WWAD, Your Main Man, and some other channels, Gentleman Gamer. And through watching those, it opened my eyes to some other possibilities. Now, the way people presented some of their information did put me off to their styles at first. For instance, being told that power gaming was wrong and had no place in this hobby, that turned me off to, hey, let's make weak characters and role play them. It made it hard for me to grasp that concept. Now, it wasn't until, I would say, the OneShot Group started around 2014. When me and some friends were talking about playing each other's games. It was Gen Con, and none of us could make it, so I did a chat, and we came up with this idea for a group. So I created the OneShot Group, and we ended up playing all sorts of games. We had people choosing to run some obscure titles, and people began experimenting with different styles. Now, some of them may have been familiar with that style. I wasn't. And that's when I really, really grasped role playing. It's when I really opened up to, hey, let's make this character that's not very strong and see what happens, or let's make this suboptimal character. Now, I'm still not someone who would make a character that just is completely dog crap at whatever they're supposed to be good at. That's just not me. But it's okay if my fighter is average at strength and dex and con, but he's really smart. Like I have no problem playing a character like that. That sounds like fun. But I don't purposely make weak characters. Usually I do try to make an optimal choice in character builds, but I don't always make the optimal choice in combat or in game in general. And that's because I don't think in life people make optimal choices all the time. I think people do what they want, and I tend to run my characters that way. I might have an ability that allows me to, shoot plasma beams out of my eyes at will, but that doesn't mean I'm going to do it the whole time. So, anyways, I really like doing I loved character intros in the GIF game from the Astral on SR2 Joker's channel. I really liked that. I thought that was awesome. I've really opened up to player agency, both as a DM and player. I love the idea of letting my players add to the story, add to the world. That is something I used to be completely against. I used to hate that. I used to think the DM ran the game. The DM made all the decisions, and the players were just playing in their world. And as I've grown in this hobby, it's become more about the collaborative storytelling to me. That has become my favorite thing. And I think part of that's been playing with Matt Click and the Provokers season 1, playing with some other fantastic DMs out there. I'm not even going to name everyone because I'm going to forget people. Those are SR2 Joker and A Fistful of Dice. Those two, playing with them. I'll just mention those two because those are the most prominent ones that I have played with. But I have enjoyed playing with others. And so I really enjoy that. It's the collaborative storytelling. Another thing I really like to do is I still like Beer and Pretzels D&D. We had a game, not this year, but last year at Gen Con with Nerdarchy Dave and Cody from Taken 20 and Doug, the Nerditor for Nerdarchy, and Dave's son. And that game was a lot of fun. I still love Beer and Pretzels D&D. Would love to play very casual D&D with a group. I think that would be a blast. So that's kind of how I've evolved. I've opened up to playing different styles. It doesn't always have to be a power gaming, hey, just trying to beat the game. In fact, it shouldn't be like that for me. And when I play games like that, it's not as fun. But I do enjoy the storytelling and getting deep into, into like the backstory of the world and the lore and the bad guy. I love when you have great bad guys. Yeah, so that's what I think I've evolved into. So if the game's not going to be, it doesn't have to be 10 pages of lore that I need. I don't like to read up on a bunch of stuff before I play. I just want to jump in and play. And I don't want to come up with a lot of backstory when I play. I like to have, for instance, if I'm playing 5th edition, I like those stuff on the front page, maybe give you a paragraph about my character, just a general idea. I like to somewhat have an idea of where my character is going. And not necessarily plan it out, but like I've made characters with the sole intent that eventually they're going to become bad guys. And I've made characters with the sole intent that they will die. And so I like to have a plan for when, not when, but I like to plan out a little bit of what's going to happen in their life. If it's a character I've made to be bad, obviously I got to get approval from the dungeon master. And hopefully they'll approve it, and that, boom, we'll make them go bad, 20 sessions in or something. And then I'll switch characters. Or, say I want a character to die. I know I want to get him to like level 7. And then at that time, I I just want to try something or something, something like that. Then fine, work it out with my DM, and if they're cool with it, I kill him and then I make a new character at whatever level we decide. So I like to try different things, and I like to be in somewhat of control of my character's story. So, anyways, that's how my plays evolved. That's not something I ever would have done early in my career as gaming. Again, I thought it was kind of like a choose your own story. But yeah, so anyways, this was Master the Game. I am Juice. Game on.